Where are all the distressed listings? This is the question that we're going to be touching upon today. With the rapid and aggressive interest rate hikes that we've seen over the past 12 months, the assumption was that we would see a massive influx in the number of distressed sellers coming to market. This would be due to the fact that more homeowners would be feeling the pinch from increased mortgage costs. In just 1 year, we went from interest rates in the 1.5% range to 5 to 6% range where we are today. And while we know that it takes some time for interest rates to work their way through the market, we still haven't seen really any distressed sellers as of yet. And there's a couple reasons for this, which we're going to jump into right now. Number one, and probably the biggest reason we haven't seen an influx in distressed listings, is due to the banks. Banks are trying to do everything they can to proactively shelter their loan book and shelter Canadian households from the full brunt of interest rates. And they're doing what they can to keep people in their homes. Steve Sereski is a realtor out in BC. He recently tweeted that both TD and CIBC have just over 25% of their residential mortgage book with amortizations greater than 35 years. Last year, that number was basically zero. So what does that mean? Banks are allowing mortgage holders to basically stretch the duration of their mortgage beyond what was originally contracted. So if we look at the big four banks, the percentage of residential mortgages with amortization periods longer than 30 years reached basically 30% more or less across the board. BMO was at 32.4, CIBC and TD were right at 30%, RBC at 25. So when you take the amortization from 25 years to 35 years, this is how banks are keeping mortgage payments down and allowing the consumer to stay in their home and to continue to spend despite higher rates. So this is one big reason why we have yet to see a flood of distressed listings, is because banks are really working with homeowners and basically allowing them to stretch the interest over a longer period of time. Another reason we haven't seen an influx in distressed listings is because only 6 in 10 homes in the GTA have mortgages. So basically 4 out of every 10 homes are free and clear. And while they may carry other forms of debt such as home equity lines of credit, which have also increased with the rise in interest rates, the main component of debt is typically mortgage debt. And when you have 4 out of every 10 homes free and clear, that's going to depress the number of people that are feeling the pinch from a rise in mortgage rates. So only 6 out of every 10 homes in the GTA are carrying a mortgage. And thirdly, the reason that we haven't seen a massive influx in distressed sales is, if you look at this chart, this is the monthly Toronto real estate board with the listings containing power of sales in the seller's name. While this chart looks pretty scary, you can see in February 2020, right around here, there were basically 0 power of sale listings. Now, at the beginning of 2023, we've had a jump of about 437% since only February of last year. So we're here, February of last year, and we're up 437%. So from a percentage perspective, that seems pretty scary and pretty intense. But when you look at the raw number, we're only looking at, about 50 listings that have a power of sales, that are under a power of sale. That represents less than 1% of total inventory. So when you factor all these things in, one, that banks are actively working to stretch amortizations and keep mortgage payments down. When we look at the fact that 4 in 10 homes don't even have a mortgage, and when you look at the fact that we have less than 1% of total inventory under power of sale, this is why we have yet to see a huge influx in distressed selling. Will this change? The longer the rates stay elevated, the higher the chance that we'll see more and more sellers having to sell. But at this point right now, that number remains low. And I don't think that we're going to see this massive spike unless we stay in this interest rate environment for another 24 to 36 months. I hope you found some value in the answer to this one question. And if you have any questions of your own, I invite you to reach out to me at any time. Thank you.